Strap in, boys and girls, because we're going to talk about death today. Yeah, that death. If you don't like death, I'd suggest you leave now. But maybe after this video, you won't fear death quite so much. We owe everything to death. Our lives are built on a giant pyramid of death. It's like we're standing on a mountain made of skulls and we're standing on the top. Because there are millions of years of evolutionary history that produced who we are today. And the mechanism by which every single minute detail of our body and our mind was formed is built on a process of other creatures that didn't have those properties dying. That was their vote. That was their vote that they weren't quite as good as we were. So we got to continue and they had to die. So here we are, the billions of us human beings that are alive on the planet. But how many more billions, hundreds of billions perhaps, lived in the past? And all of their deaths, whether they were successful or unsuccessful, they all died in the end. In fact, that is the one thing that we all get, that we're all guaranteed. The one thing we're guaranteed is death. And taxes, I guess you could say, but we're not going to talk about taxes today. I'm just going to talk about death. And then you think of a predator. Think of a predator in the wild that has to hunt to eat every day. He's got to kill something and eat it. So that's something that died one day so he could live one life. And maybe thousands of creatures died to support that one predator. And even the prey animals, they have to kill to eat. Maybe not a creature, but they may have to kill some plants. Maybe have to rip up some plants and eat them. Even if they don't eat the entire plant, they just eat some leaves or something, those are cells inside the plant, living cells that they have to eat and digest to continue living. So on the level of cells, many, many cells have to die so that a few cells might live. So this is how it is everywhere in the world, all throughout history, through stretches of time far, far more vast than we can comprehend. We may think that humans are only like 2,000 years old, maybe 4,000 years old if we think of BC, but no. Now it's hundreds of thousands of years. It goes back a long, long, long time. And at every step of that way, the traits that were selected are the ones that survived, and the traits that were rejected are the ones that died early. I mean, we all died in the end, but some died early. And all of that death is the funnel by which we got all of the traits that we enjoy today. Do you like the fact that you can see, that you can look around and see all these wonderful colors? Well, that's built off of the millions of creatures that died because they couldn't see quite so well at each stage along the way. Do you like the fact that you can walk around on land and breathe oxygen? Well, all of that is because of all of the creatures along the way that couldn't do that and died off, and here we are as the leftovers that can. And it's that way for every facet of our physical body and every piece of our mind. Do you like that you enjoy eating food? Well, all those that didn't, they died. Do you like that you feel peace and joy when you interact with people? Well, that's because the people that didn't, they wandered off alone and died. So every part of being human, every part that we enjoy, it's all thanks to death. And even the parts we don't enjoy are thanks to death. For example, maybe you don't like pain. You don't like the signals your body gives you when you do something that damages your body. But the reason you have those signals is because the creatures that didn't have those signals died and you got to live because your body helped protect and preserve you. So you might hate pain, but it protects you, and you might hate death, but it gave you all of the traits that you enjoy. The fact that we were built into these huge, complex, amazing creatures and organisms that can experience this huge variety of things in life, all of the subtle details, our sense of balance, the way we can move around, our minds, all of the complex ways that we interact with each other and experience emotions, the entire range of emotions, all of those were built up bit by bit, block by block, piece by piece, on top of the backs of thousands and millions and billions of creatures that all died because they couldn't do that. So here we stand on top of the mountain, the creatures that lived, and we fear death as well, because death is coming for us too. But we're just part of the algorithm. We're just another step. We will die. Maybe some of us will die too soon. Some of us will die later. And the exact timing of our death is part of that great algorithm that determines the next step, who will come after us. And they will actually have better lives than we do because of the fact that we died. So all we can do is appreciate the time that we have here on this earth, enjoy it, enjoy these wonderful biological machines that were loaned to us on the backs of millions of billions of creatures that died. And with that perspective, maybe we don't fear death quite so much. We can look at it with respect and say, thank you, death. Thank you for giving us all of these wonderful things on our body, things that we can think. We appreciate it. And when our time comes, we will surrender to you willingly and acknowledge you as a necessary step. Because if everything was still alive that ever lived, that would be a bunch of malfunctioning, unoptimized creatures, and we would have a hard time walking around because the entire world would just be flooded with creatures, and we'd have to step on them to get around or something like that. So death isn't so bad. Maybe I changed your mind, but probably not. We're programmed to fear death because the creatures that didn't fear death, they died.